of 12th class. 12th के लिए
हेलो सर। हेलो
हेलो हैदरा, आपकी क्लास टीम बोल रही थी ओवर हो गई है। लाइक हाँ, like actually I am dealing with some different batch.
Okay.
12 plus NEET, right? So Aisha, hello Aisha, are you there?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so in last class we did lung capacity, right? So last to last class, in fact, not in last class. So today we'll take class for 30 minutes, right? And next class onward. Next class I'll compensate in next class. Next class I'll take 1.5 hours, right? So I'll compensate today's class. So because even like I am unable to see on the even my mobile screen. So but still today I'm trying my best. So lung capacity we did, and after that we did some questions, right?
Yes, sir.
Now today we'll start from the here step of respiration, right? In respiration part, expiration, inspiration, we call it breathing. Then so step of respiration, first thing inspiration and expiration, breathing part, right? Taking in the air and taking out. Then diffusion of oxygen. Second step is part of the respiration is diffusion of oxygen and CO2, right? So what happened? Blood comes to our lungs, or in fact alveoli. It diffuse out the carbon dioxide and take in, means diffuse in the oxygen.
Yes, sir.
After that, transportation of gases takes place. You know what the short of transpiration? In transportation, blood take the oxygen from the lungs and it distribute to tissues. And when it deliver the oxygen to the tissues, in return it take back the carbon dioxide and deliver to the alveoli. Then the transportation of, after the transportation of gases, diffusion of O2 and CO2 takes place between blood and tissue. The same thing. Blood goes to the tissues, it gives them oxygen, take back the oxygen, carbon dioxide. Then Krebs cycle, that inside the, then oxygen goes inside the cell, then it goes inside the mitochondria, and inside the mitochondria oxygen is required for the combustion of the food. Then combustion of the food takes place, and after the combustion of the food, what happen? Food get combusted and energy is generated. That is a particular complete part of the respiration. So if we talk about the last part of the respiration, we will deal this Krebs cycle and all that in where? Plant physiology. I think we have already dealt with that, right? Remember or not?
Yes.
Yeah. So we have already dealt with the Krebs cycle. You are aware with the glycolysis part, Krebs cycle part, and ATP generation and all that. So now mechanism of respiration. When we talk about the mechanism of respiration, so first in mechanism of respiration, inspiration and expiration, right? So we have two kind of the muscle, two type of the muscle in our body: internal intercostal muscle and external intercostal muscle. Look, external, this is our rib cage. Inside the rib cage, from the rib cage outward, there are particular kind of the muscle. We call them external intercostal muscle. When they contract, they will pull rib outside, right? And from the rib to the inner wards, right? Inner side. So there are the muscles, they are called internal intercostal muscles, right? When they will contract, they will pull the rib inside, right? So that's how the respiration takes place. Now what happened? How we take the air inside, how the inhalation takes place, right? So first what happened? Internal intercostal muscle relax. So what happened? These internal intercostal muscle which are inside, they will be relaxed, and external intercostal muscle, they will contract. When external intercostal muscle will contract, they will pull the rib upward, right? Then internal have to be relaxed, right? Then what happened? The rib cage will move upward and outward, right? So rib cage will go outside. You can see over here in the diagram itself. Then the next is diaphragm contract and flatten. Diaphragm grow inside, right? Like downward. When diaphragm go downward and rib cage go outward, on that time, the volume of thoracic cavity increase. So thoracic cavity, that is the respiratory cavity where the lungs are situated. The volume of that cavity increase. When volume of that cavity increase, pressure inside alveoli decreases because they inflate it. When they inflate it, the pressure decreases. They take the air inside. That's how we inspire. Did you got that point?
Yes, sir.
Great. Now the same thing with the, and now let's talk about the exchange of the gases, right? So inhalation. Okay, exhalation. That is in the same thing. What happened in the exhalation? Exhalation means when we breathe out. So what happened during breathing out? It's opposite to inhalation. Internal intercostal muscle will contract, and obviously when internal intercostal muscle will contract, external have to be relaxed, right? The rib cage will move downward and inward. It will come downward. Diaphragm will relax. It will relax, right? Then what will happen? The volume of thoracic cavity will decrease, right? Then the pressure in environment will increase and we will breathe out. So that's how the mechanism of respiration takes place. By the way, I don't think that you will get the question from this word in this concept, but it is required. You may get question. We cannot deny with that. But normally the questions are not being asked from this part, right? But you may get question from the exchange of the gas. How the exchange of gases takes place. Look, that thing you need to understand. Alveoli are surrounded by a network of arteries and veins, right? And you know, artery brings down, like they carry the oxygenated blood, and veins, they carry the deoxygenated blood. How does it take place? Look, this is alveoli, like balloon like this structure. This is the alveoli. You can see this is the alveoli, and this is surrounded by the blood vessels, right? And there are these red color tubes are, they are the arteries, and these blue color, they are the vessels, right? So these are the capillary which surround these alveoli. Now what happened in alveoli? Let's come to the structure of alveoli. The pressure of the gas, that you need to remember, Aisha, right? This pressure of the gases, pressure of carbon dioxide gases, pressure of the oxygen gas, that have already been asked as a question in medical exam, right? So what happened? Alveoli, the inner layer of alveoli, that have a fluid that is called surfactant. Below to the surfactant, there is alveolar epithelial layer of alveoli. There is a epithelial layer, and you know, can you, Aisha, can you tell me what kind of the epithelial layer are capable of exchange of the gases? They help in the exchange of the gases. Have any idea?
So,
No. Look, they are basically squamous epithelial layer. As a squamous epithelial layer are the only epithelial layer where responsible for the exchange of the gases, right? Suppose that, you know, these are the basic concept of the biology, right? Suppose that if you didn't get the question, right? Suppose that you are not getting, you get the sense that there is something exchange of the gases is taking place. What will be the answer? Blindly tick on the squamous epithelial. The squamous epithelial layer are a type of epithelial layer. They are responsible for exchange of the substances. Clear? So these are the basic concepts. You need to take care of that, right? Suppose sometime, you know, I saw what happened. If you will give me 100 question, 200, 300 question, I'm not sure that I'll be able to answer all 300 questions, right? But you know, suppose that there might be 2, 3, or 4 questions where I won't get the clearly what should be the answer. But if you'll give me all those 4 questions, I'll solve them 99%. I'll ask, I'll give you the correct answer. The reason behind it, we have to, where we get stuck. There we have to apply the basic concept of the biology. So these basic kind of the biology will help you out there, right? Where you do not have exact answer of that question, right? So suppose that if you get the question where the exchange is taking place, definitely 99.9% the answer will be squamous epithelium, right? So
Yes, sir.
epithelial layer, they are the exchange of the gases. Below to epithelial, there are the basement membrane, right? One more important thing which I want to share with you, and this is a question. Do you have any idea the young baby or young one which uh, young baby or young one when they get born, uh, take the birth after the parturition, doctor hold them upward down and they pat them or they beat them, and they try that the newborn baby should cry. If the newborn baby is crying, it's okay, it's very good. If it is not crying, that is the problematic. You know why it happens, and why doctor beat a new like young born baby, like which I born after like 1 minute or 2 minutes back or 30 seconds back, and he or he is beating that baby. Why they do that? And why the baby cry after the birth? Any idea?
That any sort of mucus or anything in the nose that comes out when the baby breathes on its own.
Okay, fear is
So
telling that blood circulation. Blood circulation is not part. Blood when the blood circulation. Let me tell you. After the 2 months, the blood circulation starts. You can hear the heart sound of the baby after 2 or 3 months. After 2 months, 2 to 3 month baby, you can hear the bird sound, like heart sound. Heart start pumping after 2 months. Every young. You know why they do? When a young one born baby, when baby is inside its mother, their lungs are stuck with each other. You know, inside the lungs there is a layer, and we call that layer lecithin. Remember the name. Lecithin is the layer. Due to lecithin layer formation, they stuck with each other. When the young baby born, what happened? This lecithin layer gets separate. And when they beat, it breathe in and the lungs get inflated. Then after, when the lungs get inflated, then after, if the lecithin layer will be formed, then after the baby will be able to breathe in or breathe out. If lecithin layer is not formed, exceptionally it happens. If lecithin layer is not formed, and if baby is not crying, he or she won't be able to survive, because the lungs will not get inflated. They will stuck with each other like the layer of the polythene, right? And the breathing process will not. Clear? So
yes,
every young one or every young born baby must have the lecithin layer. Okay. Then these blood capillaries are found around these alveoli. Try to understand. There is this is the layer of the blood capillary, and this is the endothelial layer of the blood capillary. This is epithelial layer, so we call them endothelial layer. Above that there is a basement membrane. Between these blood capillaries and alveoli, they are not directly in contact with each other. Basically, blood capillaries are not directly in contact with any organ or any cell. Between the blood capillary or between the any cell or any organ, there will be a middleman. We call that lymph. Lymph is a fluid. This is yellow color fluid, yellow color liquid. The exchange of material will always takes place through lymph. Between the alveoli and blood capillary, there is an interstitial space. It is filled with the lymph, right? Now, why the oxygen is transported from the alveoli to the blood capillary, right? Or alveoli to the RBC, and why carbon dioxide is diffused out from the this RBC to the alveoli? Why it happens? Actually, the partial pressure of oxygen. I repeat it again because this question has been asked multiple times in NEET examination. Actually, the partial pressure of oxygen is 104 mmHg in alveoli, and this is 95 mmHg in RBC. The diffusion always takes place from higher partial pressure to lower flask. That's why the diffusion of oxygen will take place from alveoli to the RBC. Again, the partial pressure of carbon dioxide is more in RBC, 45 mmHg. This is 40 mmHg inside the alveoli. That's why the transportation of carbon dioxide takes place from RBC to alveoli. Is that clear or not? Tell me.
Yes, sir.
Should I dictate it?
Yes,
Or
sir.
you- Okay, understood. Fine, fine. So this is the question asked multiple times. After the class, please note it down, or you note it down in your notebook, right? Because multiple times the question have been asked either from this lecithin. Once I have seen question from lecithin. Surfactant, the question have been asked. The partial pressure of CO2 and O2 from here, right? Now come to the transportation of now the transportation of O2, right? This percentage, what you have to remember over here, the percentage. Look, hemoglobin make bond with oxygen, right? So 97% of oxygen is transported through hemoglobin. 90%, 97% of oxygen, it make a bond with oxygen, right? And it makes HbO2, that is called oxyhemoglobin. It is transported. Rest of the 3%, it dissolved with the blood plasma, and it is transported to the tissue through the blood plasma. Whatever I have written as a note, please note it down this one, right? 15 gram of hemoglobin transport, 15 gram of hemoglobin is found in 100 ml of blood, right? Whenever we see the blood report, doctor always suggests in female it should be 14.5, in male it should be 15.5, right? Hemoglobin content, right? So 100 ml of blood contain 15 gram of hemoglobin. 1 gram of hemoglobin transport 1.34 ml of oxygen. 100 ml blood means 15 gram of hemoglobin. 100 ml blood carry 19.4 ml of oxygen. Please note down this data. This is important. You'll get question from here, and you have to compare with that data. Suppose that here the fact is that 100 ml of blood transport carry 19.4 ml of oxygen. They can ask you how much oxygen is transported through 1 liter of blood. What will be the answer? Tell me. What should be the answer, Aisa?
Could you repeat?
How much oxygen is transported through 1 liter of blood?
1.34.
How much?
1.34.
Oh, come on.
19.4 ml.
19.4 is transported through 100 ml blood. So how much will be transported from the 1000 ml blood? 194 will be answer. Come on. Correct or not?
Yes.
Yes,
You
sir.
will get question like this way, right? 100 ml blood transport 19.4 ml oxygen. 1 liter means 1000 ml blood will transport 194 ml oxygen. Got it?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Got it. Fine. Note it down. Come to the transport of CO2. This is very complex process. Transport of CO2 is complex process. A bit complex, not too much complex. Look, first please note down the data. You'll get the question from here. 7% of carbon dioxide dissolved with the blood plasma, transported with dissolved condition in the blood plasma. 70% bicarbonate ion, HCO3. HCO3, right? 23% in carboxyhemoglobin. The most important question is solubility of what? Solubility of CO2 is most soluble with oxygen. CO2 is more soluble than oxygen, right? This is the criteria of solubility. Carbon dioxide is most soluble, then oxygen, then nitrogen. Please note down. Okay. Oxygen is not that much soluble. Noted?
Yes.
Okay. And look how the bicarbonate ions are formed. Carbon dioxide, when it goes, try to understand me. Carbon dioxide, when it goes inside the RBC, right? Carbon dioxide react with water in presence of carbonic anhydrase. This question have been asked multiple times. Which enzyme is responsible for catalysis of reaction of CO2 and H2O? Right? Inside the RBC, carbonic anhydrase will catalyze the reaction. In presence of carbonic anhydrase, CO2 and H2O will react. They will make H2OCO3, carbonic acid, right? Carbonic acid is unstable compound. Try to understand. It is unstable compound. I have written over there. In presence of carbonic anhydrase, H2CO3 will dissociate into HCO3 negative. This is called bicarbonate ion plus hydrogen, right? Because of this extra hydrogen, the deoxygenated blood, it will decrease its pH value, right? It will become acidic. The normal blood pH value is 7.4. Try to understand. Normal blood pH value is 7.4. The decarboxylated blood or the blood with the carbon dioxide, it will have pH value 7.34. Hydrogen ion will decrease the pH value, hence deoxygenated blood is more acidic than oxygenated blood. Please note down in outside. Done?
Done, sir.
Great. Fia, all clear? Fia, are you there? Okay. Oh, I got your answer. Great, great, great. Now, what is the chloride shift? This is very, very important. Look, what happened? Very simple. What the question I've been asked in the NEET, question was, what is the hamburger effect? And student get confused. Actually, chloride shift is also known as a hamburger effect, right? Because it was discovered by the hamburger, right? Look, carbon dioxide will diffuse into the RBC. CO2 will react with H2O. It will make H2CO3, carbonic anhydrase, right? In presence of carbonic anhydrase, it will make carbonic acid H2CO3. It will dissociate with HCO3, means bicarbonate ion and hydrogen ion. This hydrogen ion will react with hemoglobin and they will make HHB, right? These HCO3 ion, try to understand, these HCO3 ion are in excess. They will go outside. 70% HCO3 ion will go, bicarbonate ion will go outside. In return, chloride will come inside. This is called chloride shift or chloride or hamburger phenomena, right? And that's how the transportation of CO2 will take place. Is it clear or not? Tell me, chloride effect, chloride shift or hamburger phenomena. Bicarbonate ion will go outside and chloride will come inside. Because of entry of chloride, the size water will come inside and the size of RBC will increase. Clear, Aisha?
Yes.
Okay. Transport of CO2 as a bicarbonate, carboxyhemoglobin. Again, carbon dioxide will react with hemoglobin, which will make HbCO2 and transport it, right? And the rest will dissolve with the blood. Clear? Yeah.
Yes.
I will repeat it here. Look here. From carbon dioxide will transport it from tissue to the RBC. Carbon dioxide will go inside RBC. It will react with water. It will react with water and will make carbonic acid. H2CO3 means carbonic acid. Carbonic acid is unstable compound. It will break down into HCO3 and H. HCO3 are called bicarbonate ion. This extra hydrogen ion will react with hemoglobin and it will make HHB, right? These HCO3 means bicarbonate ion are in excess inside RBC. They will go 70% of them will go outside of RBC in plasma, and in return chloride ion will come inside. This phenomena is called chloride shift or Hamburger effect. Tell me, Fia, is it clear? Great. Next, this CO2 and hydrogen hemoglobin will react and they will make carboxyhemoglobin. So 100 ml of blood will transport 4 ml of carbon dioxide, right? Carbon dioxide transported in bicarbonate ion through hemoglobin and dissolved condition. 7%, 70%, 23%. That's how carbon dioxide is formed. Tell me, is it clear or not? Aisha and Fia, clear?
Yes.
So today I will keep class till here only. As I have already told you in the starting of class, even in the last class, I am severely affected with this eye flu, and today I could see any screen like laptop screen or mobile screen. Since last 7 days, I am unable to take the class and I will speak on the screen only, right? So because I am teaching you since last 30 minutes and